Oh, snap. All right, let's see if this one works. I don't know why that other one wasn't working. Whatever. It's a little bit of a learning curve for me on this one. So one thing about YouTube, it's definitely worked. Okay, this one looks like it's working good. Okay, there we go. All right, we should be good to go. That one seems to be working. All right, sweet. So, sorry about those little hiccups there. Whatever. It is what it is. We'll get it figured out. You know what I'm saying? All right. Anyway, it's No Noiz. I'm Z-Rex. We like to do analysis, like the description says, on crypto, some stocks, commodities, futures, pretty much anything that likes to move. I also like to trade options as well on stocks mostly and a little bit of crypto. But primarily, I like cryptos and futures. So, what we're going to do is talk about some recent price action here because there has been some finally, right? Yay. It's going to the moon forever. Woo. All right, let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is pumping just like everything is pumping right now. This last week was a doozy. So we've got the vol flashes up here, gave us a nice warning signal. This is a historical volatility. If you don't know, you can get that on TradingView. Just look up historical volatility thing. I believe there's a free one on there. So you can see that the price, it was flashing over here. That this flash just means that it's really low, like close to zero. And so what the hell? Then that measures itself against like previous price moves, and you can kind of go through that and read the description. We're not going to go into huge detail about that, but we did get some good flashes on there. I really like those. You can see the last one we had was back over here in October, right before this little pump and dump. That does actually happen a lot on these. It does. We get like a false move to one side. Anyway, let's just get into the raw price here. We are pumping this last week. This gray line is the 200 EMA. This line is a special, it's called the Mama line by Ellers. It's tweaked a little bit by myself, but this is and then all these ones are just standard lines. You got a 55 is this orange, this 21 EMA is the yellow, and that's pretty much all I use. I use a little bit of DMI, and this is RSI with a little special line on it as well. So fairly simple. And then I love trend lines. Bitcoin loves its trend lines and triangles for sure. If y'all don't know that already, I'm sure you do. Anyway, we got this nice pump action. Is it moon time? Is it only moon now? Are we only going to go up? Well, of course, right? Duh. That's what they told me this whole time. They said it's only goes up. Wait, what? What is this chart doing? Oh, it's been going down. Weird. So this, I will say, this is cool. The test that I really love about this is the weekly on the 21. The 21 EMA on Bitcoin is super serious and pretty much it's real serial. Pretty much gets the trend like all the time. You can almost trade just off of that. I have a back test on it somewhere. I'll share that at some point. But it's just a really easy thing to look at the 21 EMA and be like, oh, is price above it or below it? That's pretty much the trend. Or you can also use the slope of it, the slope analysis, which, the slope has clearly been down for a long time, pretty much all the way back here since late 21. But we are making the first attempt since over here back in March of 22 to break it. Now, we haven't broke the trend line yet, and we are still away from longer term moving averages like the 200. Funny enough, the 200 weekly is actually still slightly sloping up. So it's been pretty much sloping up the entire time Bitcoin has gone up, which is nice. Anyway, so this is the first test that we're actually breaching the 21. Now, do I think it's Moon Boy time? Put on your V-chain helmets and all the Moon Boy things you can? No, not quite yet. This is a nice change of pace, though. We're not just going sideways for freaking 2-3 months, which has been boring as shit. But um, here we are breaching the 21. So we are at a potential inflection point for trend to change. Now, we do not have confirmation on that yet. And the one thing that I am a little bit concerned about this move is look how aggressive this is. I mean, you can't get more vertical than this. And whatever move was coming out of this consolidation was going to be very large, whether it was to the up or downside. Just because when you get compression for many, many, many weeks, uh, the resolution of that compression usually is pretty expansive. Is that a word? I don't know. I'm not an English major or nothing. But you can see here the major trend is also going to be this trend line coming up from the other highs. And we actually are coming right up here and kind of sort of just stalling so far, backing off. And this aggression, I mean, this isn't sustainable. So what I'm going to be watching now to see if this flips is if we can kind of start staying above the bottoms over here, which is at about 18, like upper 18,000s. So if we can start basing the next couple of weeks over 18 handle, like 18.5-ish, that would start to turn the tune for the bulls, and they would start actually showing themselves as a formidable player in the market instead of just getting their asses handed to them for many moons in a row. Oh, let's move this down so you can see the chart down there. Oh, and if you're wondering what this line is, this is the halving. This is the next halving. And I'll share a halving chart that I made, I don't know, probably a year and a half ago or so. That is pretty funny that it's following to the T of this stuff. I've actually shared it on my ideas page. I don't have a whole lot of stuff on there, but wherever the hell my ideas is, if you go look in that, it's right here. Actually, I call it Bitcoin halving cycle, but we'll pull it up here in just one moment. But so now, just back to my point, staying above mid 18s is very critical for this test by the bulls. A little bit aggro. And the other one concern I do have is that everything in traditional markets also did this too. So we had like pumping everywhere. I know it doesn't look as pronounced here, but let's go to like some shit. Some let's see. I know I got all kinds of stuff over here. Just bear with me. Uno momento. We can look at I can pretty much pull up many of stocks, and they kind of have a similar pumping. We got lots of pumps. Bitcoin has its volatility is way higher than all of this stuff, but you can see we're pumping all up into 21 EMAs and 200 MAs as well. You can see here pumping up into that. I mean, we even had gold and silver pumped up super hard as well this week. Let's go check that out. I mean, I'm just trying to show you like the market regime of like everything just really pumped super, super hard this week. I mean, and it was like across the board. I mean, almost many stocks you looked at were doing that, which is kind of odd. It's like, where'd all this euphoria come from just in the last like 5 days? I don't know. I'm a little sus on that, just a little bit. I don't like when everyone's just all of a sudden on the same page out of nowhere. That doesn't mean that it's going to be bearish or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm not trying to get directional off of that assessment, but I just think it's a little interesting when you get these mad super pumps out of nowhere. So there's a lot of other stocks in there. I'm not going to spend all my time going in there and showing you each one, but there is a cheat ton, that's for sure. So anyway, staying above here, and this horizontal I've marked it around 19K. That's kind of the test now. So this could be the flip zone. Let's go look at Ethereum. Ethereum's doing kind of the same thing, but it is coming right up to major resistance. And what's the definition of a trend? Higher highs, higher lows, or lower lows and lower highs for a bear market. Now, Ethereum did something different. It actually didn't make a lower low on this last test like Bitcoin did. Bitcoin absolutely did. See, Bitcoin did make a lower low. See that? Boom. Ethereum actually didn't. Ethereum's been showing some relative strength against BTC. Yay, ETH unicorn boys. Woohoo. Oh, where the hell does my chat box up? Hold on, let me go find that just in case some of you people are putting chats in there. No, probably not. But you know, you never know. Especially since it's my first one on TradingView. Anyway, this is pretty good too. But again, pumping hard. It's the first test of the 21, same time as Bitcoin, right over there in that March area. So almost a year ago. And just 1 week doesn't make a trend change. We start camping up here, though, the next couple weeks. We very might have well set in a base here. And I might be turning into buy the, F dip mode. You know what that means, I'm sure. So, on that note, I think this is extremely important. I've been waiting for this for a long time for some resolution on this consolidation down here, and now we're getting it. And so now it's time to really start paying attention because the market regime could be changing and it could be to the upside. I'm going to get rid of this line because we don't need that crap. But this also could be a really nasty fake out because the aggression of this that's the only suspect thing. Like, I like this to kind of be more sine wave action, up, down, up, down, up, down. Like this just out of the base, that's almost literally, what is that? Just straight. Look at that. I mean, wow. I don't know what the degree is that. I'm a little special right now. So you can see back here the last time we had that, immediately just got faded and dumped hard and made a lower low. So you have to be a little bit careful here. And we are coming up on this major resistance on this little cluster around 1600-ish. So back to Bitcoin, because Mama Bear is king or queen, I guess, maybe. But yeah, so I'm watching Mama Bear really, really tight right here and staying above this. Also, this trend line cross right at 18.5 is giving us some major support. So keep an eye on that over the next few weeks. And January is actually a really good month for setting the tone for the rest of the year, not next year. Sorry, for the rest of the year. Let's go to that halving chart that I wanted to share with you guys. All right, let's load. Where the hell? Man, TradingView just keeps changing stuff all the time as of late. That's okay. All right. So here is the halving chart, and I know it's busy as hell. Just bear with me. There is a lot of good data on here. So these vertical lines are the halving spots. So boom, boom. And of course, this one's not exact, but that's about the ballpark or where that's going to be. You can see these cycles have almost lasted all about 1,300 and change days. Let me go through some of these numbers here. So these red boxes are the drawdowns that we've had from the peak to trough before the bottom was set. And they've all been around 80%, except this last time. So far, we haven't gotten there. We got pretty close. We were only about 25% away from that low. But the one thing that's more important is this blue box, not necessarily the percent drawdown, but this blue box is the three. And I have this note up here. So it's noteworthy that the major cycles have retraced to the 382 and all bear cycles, which are these blue boxes. And the 382 is a Fibonacci number. And I just measured that from the lows to the next high. And every single one of them has stalled around the 382, including this one. Now, it did breach it just for a quick little second here. But what are bears supposed to do when the market goes down? They're supposed to make selling pressure come in. They weren't doing that. So now you have to start questioning the strength of the bears. And, for weeks in a row, they couldn't push price down. So that's interesting. And this even happens before, back over here, 382s and all of these run-ups as well. Look at this. 382 box held, 382 box held, 382 box held. I mean, it's safe to say that Bitcoin has been in a very mega uptrend since its inception, pretty much. Even in the sell-off on the furthest data we can get, back over here in 2011 on TradingView, it was still like an 80% drawdown. Pretty funny. Bitcoin is super cyclical. Doesn't mean it will be forever, but for now, it is. It is until it ain't, right? All right, so we do have, before the ends of these cycles, before the ends of these cycles, the bottoms have usually been set around 500-ish days before the next halving. And so that you can see this bottom one is this gray one right here, which, bam, you can see that's the bottom there. You can see this gray one here. There's the bottom right there, which, noteworthy, the 2014 actually breached the blue box just for a second too, just like we did now. Although it only stayed down there on a tail of the candle. It didn't camp below it at all. But still noteworthy that it did breach it just slightly. And same here. We are at 5. So this one's actually a little bit shorter technically. Let's see. We're at, if we want to be super technical, it's at about 470 days. So a little bit shy, but I mean, whatever. 50 days, splitting hairs. Nothing is going to be exact like that. It's not that easy. Otherwise, we'd all make billions of dollars and be rich as shit. So that's not how that works. But this is nice that it's falling in the same kind of give or take 15-ish% margin here, that it's all coming in to play with these halving cycles. This is super interesting to me, and it's starting to get me a little bit excited, as long as, again, Bitcoin can hold that 18,000 level now. That is going to be super critical. I do believe that any price back below like the 18.5-ish area, we probably go back and test the other side of range at minimum, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a breakdown from there if that did happen. Now, that's way in the future. You know, this is going to take weeks to resolve. These are weekly charts. It's not like you have to watch this every 35 seconds like I used to back in the day. Just be like, oh my God, what's the 30-second chart say? No, that is too much. You don't need to do that. Weekly chart on Bitcoin is perfectly great for most people. And hell, you can even do 2-week charts as well if you don't want to bug out too much. But I think a weekly is nice. Anyway, I just wanted to kind of share this chart, and this is on my idea page if you want to go check it out and look at it, blah, 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 whatever. Oh, and also the one other one I wanted to mention was, which part was it? Oh, no, sorry, that was the January chart. So let's go look up the January chart. January performance. January sets the pace for the year, like almost every time. It's pretty interesting. So here's a lot of stuff on here too. I know it's a lot. I like to go into some deep dives on this stuff. I do believe I put this on my, yeah, it's on there too, on my ideas. Looks like I made this back in February or so. Okay. Yeah, it looks like back in Feb. So, January price action, super important. I'm not going to read all this stuff. You can kind of gather it in a little bit and check it out on the My Ideas tab if you want more info. But I'm just going to kind of go real quick over it, that January sets the tone. So whatever the close is for January, that's pretty much either the top or the bottom. And the only time that it didn't work was in the Corona crash. And I have that note right here on January 20th. I said not bottom, but it did just wick to the previous January. And let's drag this down so you can kind of see what I'm talking about, which is this candle here, this one right here. You can see it never broke the actual previous January's candle, which is pretty interesting. So it was respected even a year later on this mega super black swan event. And, you know, since it's black swan, you can't figure that out. No one can predict that crap. Like, no one knows. Crazy shit can happen sometimes. It is what it is. And that's the only time that it breached the previous January, which was actually this candle right here with a range of about 7 to 9K. So that was the only time that it didn't hold up and wasn't the bottom, but it quickly got resolved like literally a month later, and then moonshot. Y'all all remember that moonshot? That's when everybody and their grandma pretty much got in on this run. Bitcoin was still a joke back here. It's like, yeah, right, I'm not getting in that, bro. Now, this time, pretty much everybody knew about it on this round. But anyway, January is super important, and I'm actually going to go ahead and add the next line for this because it is coming up here in a couple of weeks. Oh, trying to skip years here. What will it be? We don't know yet, so we'll just put some question marks. Interestingly enough, last January, It closed down 16.66. Ooh, look at that meme number in there. Dangerous. Anyway, you can see that these little dots are the Januaries. If you were wondering what those are, these little orange dots. That's just so I can quickly look at them and not have to like scroll through here and be like, oh, there's January. That's just a quick reference. And then the arrows, the yellow arrows are piercing. I call them previous piercing performance. I don't know. Sometimes I just make up silly words. Oh, you can see this too. I don't think I load. No, I did load this up in January or February. Sorry, god damn it, retarded over here. In February, and I said if the same pattern is followed, we are looking at 20K by early summer, which was actually right on the nose. And that wasn't me. That was just from the patterns. I was just reading the price action, man. Price is king, man. Everything that you need to know is built into the price. I'm not a huge fundamentals guy. I don't really think that matters. I know I get a lot of flack for that, but we're not, one guy isn't smarter than every market participant, which is what the chart is showing us. This is every single person that's trading in the market at one time with all the info in the market at that moment in time. So you're not smarter than that. No news article is smarter than that. Blah, 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 blah. No fundamental smarter than all that data collectively. So that's all I was just reading from that. And whenever you do get a pierce, in future reference, and this works to the upside too, whenever you get a piercing of the 21 EMA on a monthly, you need to question the previous trend. So if it's an uptrend, you need to start questioning and be like, uh-oh, this trend's probably over. And if it's a downtrend and we pierce it from the bottom side, vice versa, then you need to start questioning, oh, bears are losing their strength. Okay, sweet. And I know everybody loves the moon boy in crypto, which doesn't always happen. You can't always go up. But anyway, just kind of keep that in mind for the future. And also, I wanted to go back to the 666 number. It was just hilarious. And you can see right here, it literally set the top. Price never went back above that candle right here, which is this red arrow. And we've been selling off pretty much ever since then. So now will we flip? Will January close up big and sexy and girthy? And will this be the bottom? Will 16K be the bottom of this cycle? It very well could be. I'm actually, and if I had to guess, I'd guess it's a slight higher probability that it does. Maybe like not super high. I'm say like a 60-40. I'm not super high conviction yet. If we get the next 2 weeks above, like the rest of this month closing above like 19,000, I would put that higher. I'd probably jump up to 70% at that point. So that might be pretty awesome, guys. Let's keep a lookout for that. All right, how do we close this, guys? Is that right here? Oh, no, we don't want that. Let's do this, this, and then we'll go here. There we go. Let's go back to my main chart. My main squeeze. All right, let's go through a couple other things. Futures right here on the 21. It doesn't look as sexy on the futures, but it's still piercing it, so we got to pay attention to that. How about stupid grayscale? Yeah, right. See, like so many charts. This is the one thing. So many charts have bounced right to their major resistance levels and are stalling now. So be very, very cautious. Dude, this isn't financial advice. Don't listen to me. I'm an idiot. But for me, like I know a lot of people are going to start buying up here because they're like, oh, shit, it's over, man. We're going up. Bears. F the Bears, dude. Oh, man. Be careful of that. Be very, very cautious of that. Buying. Like, why didn't you buy back here if you thought that, on this consolidation? It's like, it's just funny how that is. It's like my dad wouldn't touch Bitcoin. Like, he thought it was the dumbest thing ever. And I'm like, dude, buy it. Back here, dude. Buy it. Or not back that far. Sorry. It was around. Sorry. That's why, because it's on GBTC. It actually was there. I'm like, buy it back here. He's like, yeah, right. That's dumb. And then he literally bought right here at the top. I think he bought 18, like 5 or something. which is pretty damn hilarious. What an idiot. But a lot of people did that. That's okay, whatever. He ended up making money after he held it for a long time, and he finally sold, I think, some up here. But I'm sure a lot of your parents and friends were like that. They're like, "No, dude, I'm not going to buy that stupid fake internet money." And then when it gets to the very, very peak, they're like, "Oh, hell yeah, I'm going to buy that. That's a freaking deal." Silly plebes. Anyway, I'm going off on a little tangent there. BitO, what is BitO doing? Kind of the same thing. BitO is it's an ETF from ProShares that came out pretty much about a little over a year ago. And if you like to trade options, this is the only way to do it. Their options are super tight spreads. They're pretty damn liquid. And for some reason, the CME just still won't let retail trade options on the futures product, even though you can trade them on Ethereum, which has been out less. The Bitcoin ones have only been out 2+ years, and you still can't trade them. I don't understand it. Whatever. Who cares? Stupid CME. Litecoin. Look at Litecoin actually breaching the 21 way back over here in October, setting the standard. You know what's funny is Litecoin has actually ran the game a few times. Pretty wild. Oh, what time is it? Oh, I got to get going here in a second. So this is just a quick little test run too on here. I'm going to try to do more of these as time goes on and get a little bit more consistent. I'm not sure the scheduling yet that I'm going to do, but that will be coming up here shortly. So just keep an eye out on that. Yeah, I'm not going to go through all these. I'll do another stream later and we'll go through some of the shit coins and stuff like that. Dogecoin pumping, nice. Does that mean Shiba Inu's pumping too? I just want to look real quick before we sign off. What? No. That's it? Oh, I guess I have to learn how to spell right. That's actually a coin though. What the hell? So funny that Sheeb is on Coinbase. Oh man. All right. Let's just pick this one. Oh yeah. Super pump. Look at that. Everything pumping. Everything looks the same right now. That's the only thing I don't like. The only thing I don't like in this rally is that everything is looking the same. That's the biggest concern that I've got. Anyway, right, but just to kind of wrap up my thoughts on this, last and sexy. Oops, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. I meant for the drag mode. It looked nice